I have a question for you. Are you going, feeling like you're stuck on a treadmill and wondering where it's going to get you, what the point is? You might feel stressed, overwhelmed, helpless, hopeless, maybe even that sense of like, what the heck is the point of all of this? I was in a session with a client this week and we were laughing about being on the treadmill of BS, and I said, that's a great podcast episode. So I wrote it down and here we are talking about it today. If this is you, I want you to listen so you can get tips on how to jump off the treadmill of BS. But first, I'm Dr. Amanda Barrientez, the founder of NFA Coaching, the host of Max Potential Habits. I'm psyched you're here to learn tips, tools, and hear inspirational interviews so you can optimize your habits so you can thrive in your life and business. And obviously, we're not thriving when we're on the treadmill. Also, I wanted to say thank you for the recent review I got from Dr. Laser Beam Larry. First, I love that name. I don't know who you are, but I smiled so big when I read your review. Dr. Laser Beam Larry says, just started listening and I love this podcast. It was the perfect thing to get me going in the morning. Manifesting tools, the law of attraction, great tips. I'm pumped to create today. High fives, Dr. Laserbeam Larry. Thank you. If you take a screenshot, anyone listening, if you love what you're listening to, it helps me so much spread the word and make a bigger impact in the world and grow our NFA tribe if you leave a review. Take a screenshot of it, send it to mphraffle@nfacoaching.com. This link is in the show notes, and you will be entered in to win a raffle prize that I draw every single month. So thank you so much in advance for that. It really helps me out. And besides that, I don't know if there's anything better than hearing from you how this is impacting you. I do this every week. I put my heart and soul and energy into this podcast, into it. It also goes out on YouTube, IGTV. I do other videos like quote of the week on LinkedIn and Instagram and all kinds of cool stuff. And I'm doing that because I want to connect with you and I want to know that it's resonating and landing. So when I get those reviews, I'm like, yes, high fives, awesome. It's impacting you, and that matters to me so much. So thank you for being here. Thank you for doing that. That's awesome. Okay, so back to the treadmill. First, I want to say I totally get it. I think that I've lived a lot of my life on the treadmill. A lot. I mean, I've been one of those people that was just a go-getter from day one. When I set a goal, I would make it happen. And my mantra was like, I'll make it happen hell or high water. Listen to the languaging there. I'll make it happen. There's a lot of force, there's a lot of push, there's a lot of effort that goes into that. Hell or high water. That kind of attracts hell or high water my way. And what would happen is that I would commit to something, and no matter what, I would make it happen. But what the result was me being burned out, stressed, frustrated, overloaded, and at points in my life going, what is the point of any of this? Like getting to that place of crying in bed and just going, I don't understand why I'm doing any of this. What is the point? And the reason for that is because when we get stuck on that treadmill, and I hear this happen to a lot of people, we get overwhelmed, we put too much on our plates. You know, as high achievers, we're like, let's take it all on. Let's build our business as fast as we possibly can. Let's put 50 goals on the plate. And then in the process, we lose ourselves and we lose the connection to why we're doing it in the first place. We lose the connection to our why. We lose ourselves really. And what we're seeking is a sense of fulfillment and meaning in life. But when we get on the treadmill, we forget that. And we think that once we get the thing at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel, which on a treadmill there is no end, which is why it's a perfect example, there's nothing there, because wherever you go, there you are. If you work your butt off for a year, 5, 10 years building a business, and at the end of those 10 years you get there and you hate what you've built because you've created a prison for yourself, what's the point? And that's something I've really asked myself on this journey, because in learning manifestation mindset habits, I realized that joy is a habit. I realized that alignment is a habit. I realized that me waking up in the morning and running as fast and hard as I possibly can is just a habit, and that I have the power to change it. So if you're feeling this way, which I don't know of a person that I've talked to that is attracted my way, because, you know, it's called NFA coaching, no fucking around coaching. You're probably a high achiever. And in that, I also want you to be NFA joy, NFA balance, NFA loving every moment of your life. That is the point. NFA also stands for neuro freedom alignment. And in that, it's you balancing out your thoughts, your beliefs, your decisions, your actions to be aligned to manifest what you want. And it's been really fun in this last year to dive deep into manifestation and understand that energy is your greatest source of manifestation. And to be aligned in your energy, it takes you being in a state of joy, not hustle, not overwhelm, not stress. When you're in those states, you're going to be more repellent. You're actually going to be feeling a sense of dis-ease, which is a repellent energy. And so if you're aligned, what does that actually feel like? Alignment feels like you get up in the morning and you're like, you ask yourself, what would bring me joy today? And you do that first to get your energy aligned. I know I've said it here before, but I don't know exactly what the quote is, but it's Gandhi talks about when he had a lot on his schedule to do, he would meditate twice as long. So it's like, oh, I've got a lot to do today. I better meditate twice as long, which is counterintuitive, right? When we have a lot on our schedule, we tend to like wake up, feel instantly stressed, go straight to the checking of the boxes on everything that we need to do, and start organizing our day in our mind in bed, like the second we wake up. And what does that do to your energy? If you imagine waking up in the morning and going like, I actually have a new watch that doesn't even beep at me, it just vibrates. So it vibrates instead of beeping at me to wake up. And that state of adrenaline that you get into right when the beeping starts, that I hate. I would always feel like this is not a nice way to wake up. And I'm not one of those people that wakes up naturally at 6 o'clock. Like that just, sometimes it happens to me, but not frequently. So I've been letting myself sleep a little bit more. I've been waking up with my vibration alarm, which is like, I wake up in this nest. I got a really fabulous 3-inch feather bed for the top of my pillow top. So I've just been enjoying the softness of life and being a person who gets to feel relaxed because I'm creating that as a habit. And I'm switching my thinking because the more that I read about manifestation and the law of attraction, the more I know that when I'm energetically aligned in joy and enjoying the things I do in my life, I actually get to attract opportunities my way without it being so much effort and hard work. And that's not to say I don't work every day. Obviously, I work a lot, but it doesn't feel like work. It feels like effortless joy because I'm doing the things that I love on a daily basis. And I'm not in this place of force jumping on the treadmill the second that I wake up. So let's talk about what you can do to get to the place of jumping off the treadmill. First, you've got to notice your overwhelm. First, you got to check in with yourself and go, how am I feeling? What am I experiencing in my daily life? Am I feeling a sense of joy? Am I feeling a sense of frustration and stuckness? Am I connecting with the people around me? Or am I too busy and stuck in my head, even just going, there's too much going on, I can't even look at that. Or when someone talks to you, you're not really present because you've got so much going on in your head. That's being stuck on the treadmill of BS. And you want to notice this first. The greatest tool and power you have is being mindful, being present. And I think it's probably one of the hardest things there is to do because there's so much on the plate at all points in time. But remember, it's a habit. So to break this habit and jump off the treadmill, I just want you to first start noticing. Notice when you're out of alignment. Notice when you're, instead of being in a place of joy, you're in a place of fear. Instead of a place of joy, you're in a place of force. Instead of a place of joy, you're in a place of constant stress and worry and thinking about the future and all the things that need to be done. If that's you, you're on the treadmill of BS, you're out of alignment, and you're gonna make your work twice as hard, 5 times as hard, 10 times as hard. So notice your feelings of overwhelm. Become the master of yourself. Number 2, schedule downtime. This is a hard one for people. High achieving go-getters tend to want to max themselves out at all points in time. So something I do is I schedule in downtime. I actually make sure that my appointments don't start until a certain time of the day, because I know that in the morning I like to journal, exercise, meditate, read. And some days when I'm reading a book that I'm really inspired by, I want to read for an hour and a half. And so I know that if I give myself that time, I'm going to step into my day very aligned. And that's going to make me more magnetic and more attractive to the things that I want to have being drawn into my business and into my inner circle, instead of a forced state where it draws in this kind of desperation feeling and just a totally different vibe of the people that I get to spend time with in my business. Number 3, double down on self-care. So if you notice you're overwhelmed and you're having that feeling of like, I'm stressed, I'm going through the motions, I'm disconnected from myself, I'm even wondering when all of this is going to end and I can just relax, then you need to double down on your self-care time. This can look like doubling down on meditation. It might be you go from 5 minutes to 10 minutes of meditation. I'm not talking about adding this big, huge thing. I'm just saying, okay, maybe you go, oh, I need to set an alarm and meditate 3 times throughout the day for 5 minutes each time, just to keep myself on this wave and trend toward creating a habit, a strategic habit in a new direction of relaxation. This is going to help you get aligned for more peace and calm, which then helps you step off the treadmill of BS. So double down on self-care. Another way, it could be you go, okay, I'm going to sleep half an hour longer, or I'm going to go to bed half an hour earlier, or I'm going to set an alarm to make sure I drink enough water, or I'm going to take a walk in the middle of my work day because it helps me get grounded and balanced. So when I say double down, I don't want you to think like, oh, I've got to spend 8 hours a day in self-care. It's just creating practices and habits that are putting you in the direction of honoring yourself, loving yourself, so that you can raise your energetic vibe and be more attractive to the things you want, so it doesn't feel like you're constantly pushing a boulder up a mountain or running on a treadmill and getting nowhere. Number 4, get reconnected with your why. So I talked about this in the beginning. When you're out of alignment, it means you're disconnected from your why. And you're checking all the boxes, but you're not really in a place of gratitude or certainty or clarity about where you want to go. If you're connected with your why every day, you're reading your lifetime vision. I have 5 lifetime goals, and I call them my manifestation-based goals, because they're not attached to specific numbers other than saying that I want to impact a minimum of 5 million people in my business. Mostly it's an essence-based manifestation goals. It's like I want to spread love, evolve my consciousness, learn the art and science of manifestation, and practically bring those tips to the world so that people can feel good in their lives. My ultimate why is to help people get inspired to do whatever it takes to transform into the most empowered versions of themselves so they can lead rich, thriving, kick-ass lives and businesses. That aligns everything I do. That's why I'm here right now. That's why I create online courses. That's why I do one-on-one coaching. It's why I'm writing a book. It's why I'll write multiple books. It's the foundation of my why. And so when I go to do a video like this or a podcast, I go, what do my people need? Why am I doing this? And I drop into my heart and I do a little meditation, and I almost always get to a tear of gratitude. And like when I went on to look for the reviews for today, I read that and I like cried. I was like, oh my God, yes, awesome. I don't even know where these reviews came from. They just came, and awesome. And it just makes me smile, and it connects me to my why. So it's gratitude, and it's connecting with why you're doing what you're doing. I read a lot this weekend, so I can't remember where I read it, but I was reading about, it might have been in the Daily Stoic. Ryan Holiday was talking about, when we're doing something that we don't enjoy, why are we doing it? Like, why do you want to design a life where you can't stand what you're doing? And it seems so simple, but it's not. If you notice yourself feeling like you're on the treadmill and you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling disconnected and you're feeling that sense of like, why am I even doing this? You need to connect to your why and go and ask yourself, what brings me joy? Which is actually the next one, number 5. In the morning, ask yourself, what would bring me the greatest joy today? And do this. I know that right now in the pandemic, there's all kinds of stressors. A lot of us have kids that are home and you're homeschooling on top of working, and maybe your work went remote, and that's a gift in certain ways because you don't have a commute, but then you also have to restructure and figure out how to be totally self-sustained during the day and self-driven, and you might be worried about the future. There's a lot. We go through a lot as humans, right? But your ability to respond to this is your responsibility. Responsibility is your ability to respond, and how you respond to it is how you live your life. The degree to which you are the master of yourself and the way that you respond is the degree to which you will be able to attract all the things you want in your life. If you're in a place of lack, overwhelm, uncertainty, fear, doubt, frustration, you're going to struggle because you're going to be constantly in that lack space, wishing and hoping that you had something different. So remember, because this is a habits podcast, your mindset is a habit. Your thoughts are a habit. What you do every day is a habit. The way that you show up energetically is a habit. The most successful, inspired people practice daily habits that, like I'm talking about, where they get aligned with themselves by noticing that they're off, and then they do what it takes to realign so that they can be energetically high vibe and do what they love in the world. And then that's when all the freedom and all the success and all of the things that you want to have comes, right? So it's be, do, have. It's not have, do, be. Most of us think when I get there, I'll be happy, but it's the opposite. No matter where you are, there you are. Wherever you go, there you are. I love that statement, because if you're not feeling inspired and connected in this moment, when you get the $1 million or whatever the big goal is for you, you won't be happy then either. When this happens in relationships a lot. People go like, oh, when we get to this check mark, then we'll start going on dates and nurturing our relationship. But then the relationship falls apart to the point that when you get to that goal, then you have nothing built in your relationship. So you've got to do the work to be a daily master of yourself. And to me, this is probably the highest calling that there is. And I look at business building as a spiritual journey. I love to say that my business coaching is really just a mask for spiritual evolution. Like, I help people spiritually evolve because that's the work I do on myself. And I bring that to the table because I think that that's the most important work you can do. Business is an awesome vehicle because you get to put your heart and soul into it. You get to have an unlimited impact, making an unlimited income in the world by doing something you absolutely love. And to really thrive in your business, you got to learn all these principles I'm talking about, which is the art of manifestation, the art of being a master of yourself, and learning how to respond to the things that are coming your way in a powerful way so that you can attract whatever it is that you want to attract. And in that way, the spiritual laws come into play, universal principles come into play, and it's like you actually have the rules of the game of life all at your disposal, but you never knew it until you ran into me. Or maybe you've heard this somewhere else. But if you're listening to this right now, it's because you're ready to hear this. And it's not special about me. It's about that we're co-creating this reality and going like, yeah, let's learn the universal laws together, and together become masters of ourselves, which then helps us make a bigger impact in the world, which then raises the frequency of the planet, which is awesome. So went off on some tangents there, but overall, the main point is, if you are feeling stuck and overwhelmed, remember it's a habit for you to be stuck and overwhelmed, and that you can do some daily shifts by doing the things that I outlined for you. And I'll recap them real fast. So, how to jump off the treadmill of BS with the intention and goal of getting realigned so that you can manifest what you want in your life and business and really feel good and have a meaningful life, to where you're waking up in the morning going like, yes, what do I get to do today? Awesome. Instead of waking up in the morning being like, I'm overwhelmed, overloaded, stressed, what is the point? So the 5 habits that you can start to practice strategically. And don't be hard on yourself. Everything isn't going to change overnight. Just start to practice these frequently and you'll notice changes over time. Number 1, notice your feeling of overwhelm. Number 2, schedule in downtime. Number 3, double down on self-care. Number 4, get reconnected with your why. And number 5, in the morning, ask yourself, what would bring me the greatest joy today? And start by doing that to get your energy aligned. I hope this has been helpful. I love that you're here. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I am really grateful for you. Have a beautiful, wonderful, fabulous day where you thrive and feel alive, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Max Potential Habits podcast. If you're liking what you've heard, it would be so incredibly awesome if you would subscribe to the channel and leave a 5-star rating and a written review. This helps me help more people while we grow our NFA community so we can rock it out together. For Max Potential Habits resources, go to nfacoaching.com where you can access all of my resources. There's free ebooks, PDF checklists, a journal template, a business mindset meditation kit, and so much more. Plus, links to NFA coaching on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And if you're super serious about up-leveling, there's also a link to schedule a free consult to work with me in group or one-on-one coaching. Until next time, I hope you have a Max Potential Habits Day where you get inspired to do whatever it takes to transform into the most empowered version of yourself so you can lead a rich, thriving, kick-ass life and business.